she said.
Okay, welcome to my bedroom. I'm going to just give you a little quick summary of what I've done in here so far. I painted all of the furniture before the carpet was ripped out. Took the furniture out, then we ripped the carpet up. Had Stevens Hardwood Flooring, a local hardwood floor company, come in and put the hardwood floors in. So they're in. They're not sanded or stained yet, so we can still paint on them and do construction in here without worrying about the floors. The next thing we did after 5 paint samples, we decided on a Benjamin Moore paint. The color is silver gray, which I'm pretty happy with. And that was purchased at the local Ace Hardware here in town. Now has Benjamin Moore paint. So we put a flat Benjamin Moore silver gray on the top. And then on the bottom, I've used a satin, which is one sheen down from the semi-gloss. I didn't want it to be too shiny. And I've painted 2 coats of the satin white on the bottom. So this is going to be our transition point for the board and batten, which today we're going to show you the tutorial on how to make this whole room look like a custom wainscoting technique called the board and batten. So stay tuned because you're going to be able to do it yourself by the end of the video.
You're going to have a stud here. This will be double framed, more than likely. You'll have a stud either left or right of each of the outlets.
Okay.
Normally, studs are 16 centers. In this case, they're not. I would imagine because they've had to adjust here. Then in the corner, of course, you're going to have a corner right there, so we can easily tack it in. And the easy part about this is you want this to obviously be in the studs, so you get that foundation. But your batten that is not truly batten, I guess, but it doesn't have to be in the studs. But what we'll do is cross staple each of those to make sure they're in there, plus a little bead of liquid nails on it.
Okay, what are you doing, Scott?
I am cutting the 45-degree angles for that corner there, next to the door. And I am, because these boards are so tall, obviously on my miter box here, I'm having to flip it. See, we want to make sure that it's smooth edge, 45-degree angle, and then we'll go back in on the other side now and smooth that side up, since it's such a long board and obviously the miter box doesn't. Okay, so what we've done is we've cut a 45-degree angle here to match the other board that's coming into this side. The corners are always the most important. I have about probably a 1/4 inch overhang on this side. The reason that I'm doing that is because I want to put these 2 pieces together. It's a whole lot easier to cut a straight edge off of that than it is to do the 45, in my opinion. Now what we've done is basically I've gotten the long level. The longer the stride that you have with it, the longer the level you want, so that it's going to balance out. A lot of people put the little small levels up there. It doesn't always work very well. So we want to make sure that we're 54 inches up on both sides, and look, we're dead on level. Now what I'm going to do, if you'll take that pencil and just mark underneath it.
Under here?
So yeah, just do a line. It doesn't have to be solid all the way across. Then we just take it and scoot right across there. And that'll be a good start for us. Now what I'll do is go back and I'm going to cut the roughly an 1/8 inch off that back side so we can flush it up.
All of the wood that we're using today is MDF. We did all our measurements ahead of time. We're using 6-inch on the board and wine that we're putting up right now. And we just bought sheets of MDF at Home Depot, and Home Depot cut all this wood for us. It took almost 2 hours. But if you go in with all your measurements, and they cut 65 2-inch by 54-inch battens for me too. So.
About how much does the whole sheet of MDF cost?
A sheet of MDF is about $31.
And how many sheets?
About 4 sheets of MDF for this project.
Basically what I've done is I've measured from the door, the trim here, over to the edge of the wall, and I had to cut this board a little longer because again I'm putting a 45-degree angle on it. So we're going to have to compensate. Look, you know, for example, this may be 23 inches from the wall, but you've got to compensate for that 45-degree angle, so we're going to come out, you know, additional area there.
So you're going to mark that.
And we'll mark this.
Okay.
And start getting.
That's where you're going to miter.
The 45. Basically what we've done, pull yours away just for a second, is I've got the 45-degree angle perfectly going into the center on one side. Now MJ, if you'll come over and hold this one, since it's smaller, what I'll do here is match up to this side, and you'll notice that it's long. That's okay, that's what we want.
A little long.
Yeah, that's what we want. We want one side long, because now I'm going to gradually take off the back side to flush those pieces together. And that way it will be as small of a gap as possible.
Got it.
So,
I'm telling you, I don't think I could miter without Scott.
Everybody has to have a Scott for mitering.
First try, it's perfect.
It's perfect. Scott is perfect.
all right, are you happy?
I'm over the moon.
All right, let's put it in. Generally, as I said earlier, generally when you have a board like this, you can hit studs, and the liquid nail is not always necessary. However, there's nothing wrong with a little bead behind it. Keep in mind, this stuff is going to stick. And when it sticks good. So if you ever want to take this down, you're going to peel off some of the sheetrock that's behind it. So, you know.
This is permanent.
This is permanent. Nothing's ever permanent, but it is kind of permanent. Standard caulk gun, liquid nails. Oh, she got the heavy duty. We even don't want to go smaller with that. So on the majority, she didn't get the small project stuff. She got the heavy duty. So on every caulk gun, you got a little snip cutter.
Oh, nice tip.
Nice tip. Then of course you got the device underneath it to poke it. And there you go. We're started.
Wow.
So, and as I said earlier, it always goes in and slides down and then forward. So when you're taking it out, don't try to pull from this side. You always slide that farther back and pull up from the front.
It looks quite simple.
It was quite simple. So, what we're going to do is basically always double check. Make sure I'm on the right side. Make sure I'm on the right side. My board goes up like this. So I'm going to put a small bead. And that's plenty. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to line up to where we had our
Pencil marking.
pencil mark earlier. It's always good to have it. And then I'm going to move it up and down. All I'm doing is basically squishing in and spreading in some of that liquid nail.
Squishing. I like that.
Can you go up a little, right?
Right there. We level?
We're level.
Alright.
Break out the power tool.
The power tool. If you'll notice the way that I was holding that, again, there's studs in there. You want to get it into the studs. But the areas that we don't have studs, we're going to crisscross. So we're going to fire this way and this way. And what that does is it kind of works together. But before I do that, I'm going to shoot this in.
That in on the stud down there.
Stud. And see, I can go straight in because I know there's a stud back there.
Now Mary Jean knows what to do, and she's liquid nailing.
I stopped on this middle one because you'll notice that I've got electrical wires coming in.
Oh, yeah.
So before I go shooting this, I want to make sure that obviously, this is shooting a 2-inch nail into this wall. So I want to make sure that there's nothing behind there. So what I'm going to do, because we haven't, gone through to locate the wires, which technically you should. I mean, that would be the best route. But what I'm going to do is shoot slightly off-center from this so that I know that I'm away from that actual electricity. So just like the other wall, the only difference is that's an outer angle, and this one is, of course, inside. So we have a 45-degree angle cut in to this. We've cut our overall length. I've left about a 1/4 inch just for manipulation, if you will. And now I'm going to cut another piece to go on this wall, 45, and bring those two together. And then once I get a nice seam inside there, I'll start trimming that end down to flush it up with the door. All right, ladies, we want to staple this one up first.
Okay, this one's going up
This
first?
one's going up first. Why?
Oh, you let us go.
No, we have to.
It's okay, that's hold it down.
Yeah.
We gotta go down.
This one goes up first because this is the only piece that's not having a modification on the end. You see here, we're able to cut this one down, so we want to go ahead and put this up. Let's put our bead of liquid nail on it.
So far, we've installed all of the boards horizontally around the room. We've come to every corner. Scott has done an incredible job of mitering every corner with his angles. Then we've continued on around. We've hit all the corners with the miter. And we're getting ready now to put the battens in. For the battens, we've cut a board. We've determined we want 17 inches in between ours. It just looks right. We're going to take a batten, install it, use this as our measurer, and then we'll hit the next, our spacer, and then we'll hit the next batten over here, going all the way around